figured I moved recently and went to Halifax, and I didn't really tell everybody what happened. It was so much fun. Like nothing, serious or anything, but we had so much fun. I went with my buddy John and my buddy Ben and my buddy Shannon, and crazy Shannon parties. We have so much fun. So we went down there. I drove, and we had fun on the way there. We'd get there, we'd crash at John's old, where he used to stay when he was going to university, with a buddy of his, this crazy Jamie guy who was totally nuts. It was so much fun. We drank and drank and drank, and we went down to this bar called the Argyle, which is really kind of an upper class kind of joint. I don't know what I was doing there, but it was cool. We got to meet up with some friends we haven't seen in a while, and people were putting pepper in each other's beers, and like Jamie was totally wrecked. We had so much fun. I never really got drunk the whole time, but I wish I would have. It would have been a hoot. So after we went to the Argyle, everyone decided, hey, let's go to a club, and I normally don't go to clubs. I don't like the atmosphere, and I don't like being so surrounded by people, and I don't like, well, of course, the price of alcohol is ridiculous, but because Shannon was going, every time Shannon goes to the club and I go with her, we have a hoot. Like, we get totally just crazy. It's so much fun. So we went and just danced our faces off, and actually had a pretty good time. I was kind of surprised. Of course, after that, we ended up having to walk home, and it was really cold. I think my ears got a little frostbite. It was like that really cold weekend there, 2 weekends ago. It was really freezing. So the next day we get up, and I think I'm just a little bit hungover. Nothing too crazy. And we go for breakfast at this place called Athens, which is a pretty good place. The food there, the rice was a little funny. I wasn't really too impressed with the food. A lot of us weren't. I don't know, maybe it's just a bad day or something. It happens, because they said that they've been there before. And they said they had good meals there before, so it's not like every time they go it's horrible. It's just, you get that odd day once in a while. I don't know, maybe the chef was hungover too. What did we do after that? We ended up going downtown and just walking around in Halifax. I love the town. It's so great. They have, we went to the casino. I had to hit the casino if we were going down there. That's it. I just love it down there. You walk in, big, all shiny, buildings all pretty, and beautiful carpets, and you go in and there's machines for as far as the eye can see. Everyone's having a couple drinks and throwing their money away. I've only ever been down. I've been to the casino 6 or 8 times, and I've only been down twice. But every time I walk out of there, I usually walk out with $40 or $50 because I play blackjack. And blackjack has a thing where you can win and get ahead for so long, but if you keep playing, eventually you'll get down to nothing. So what you got to do is get greedy. When you say you start with $20 and you're up to 40, you stop because you doubled your money. Why not walk out, right? But most people don't want to do that. Even I don't want to do that sometimes, because if you're hot, right, you want to keep going. So I walked in and I dropped on blackjack. I went in and I had $60. So I was like, okay, I'll put 20 down. Just sometimes you'll get a dealer that's just hitting blackjacks and just hitting 21s all the time, just ripping you a new one. So this dealer he was like lucky. He was just raw. I was like, oh. So then I was like, okay, maybe that was just luck. So maybe I'll go and put another 20 down. Same thing. He just tore me a new one. I'm like, I got $20 left. Great. So I go to another blackjack table and put my $20 down. I start playing, and I actually won back my $60. It took me a while. It was kind of like hot and cold, nothing crazy. And I got down to my last $10 or $5, and I still came back, and I got up to, I was like 10 over my 60 or something, or 20 over my 60, but I kept playing. So John came over and said, give me that 40 chips right there. Took them from me so that I wouldn't, he's more the steady-minded guy. He doesn't want to go and, risk everything. He's more like, I'll drop $10. If I win 10, I'll walk away. So he's like the reasonable one in the group. So I kept playing, and yeah, I would have walked out with, I should have went with my 20, because then I would have just been up $20, and that's fine. Blackjack, you never win big. You only win what you bet in the middle. So, you can risk a lot, and I should have, I was thinking, should I take my whole stack and drop it on the next hand? And I thought about doing that 4 times, and all 4 times that I would have done it, I would have doubled. Why didn't I? I could have taken like $80, dropped it on the thing, just say, okay, fuck it, whatever. It's $60 to lose is not that big a deal, so I had 80. Dump that there, see what happens. I know I would have doubled her up. Best thing though was there was a bunch of guys sitting next to me, and they were just I think they were down from Ontario or something, and they were just partying it up, and they were a cool bunch of guys. And this one guy who he looked like what's that guy? He's a real pretty boy. He was dating I don't know his name. Anyway, he looks like him. He had a beard and everything. He was a real good looking guy, and he just party. He looked like he was down having fun. I kept asking him. I was like, hey, what should I do here? And the blackjack dealer will tell you, should I hit or should I not? But this guy knew with what you got in front of you and what his face card is, what his card up there is, what to do every time. And every time I took his advice, there was like an 86% chance that he was right and I got it. Like, you can't beat those odds. That's really good odds. So anyway, yeah, his buddy, I guess, had dropped a lot of money at the casino and didn't really do so well, and he had started to come back. Like, he had lost, I don't know how much money, I think 300 or 400, 200, something like that, I don't know. Probably 100 or 200 bucks. And he had come back and started winning again, and he had, what was it, $200, and he had $200 in chips in front of him that he had finally earned back. I think he was maybe just starting to break even or something like that. So he trades them in for $200 chips, and he was going to walk away, but then his friends were like, oh, come on, you got to keep playing, right? The guy's like, oh, you know what, fine, I'll do it. So he puts down a $100 chip on a blackjack hand. I was like, so he ends up, dealer goes around, deals everybody. He ends up getting a 6 and a 5, so he's got 11. And they're like, oh, you got to double up on that. So he puts down his black chip and he says double up, and fucking doesn't he get a 10, ends up with 21 and ends up doubling his money. So 200 turned into 400, like, whoosh. Isn't that awesome? What a good story. You don't really see that very often, so I was very happy that, you know, somebody got ahead. So anyway, we played for a bit longer. John lost, I think, 20 or 40 bucks, and Ben lost a little bit too. It was nothing crazy. We just had some fun. Then we ended up walking around in Halifax, just seeing the big buildings. Like this one was built by this philosopher guy. I don't remember what it's called, but it's a really pretty church. And I took a couple pictures, and they turned out really good. And then after that, we went back to Munson's place, and we just started drinking, and we started partying with Munson's, Jamie's roommates. Like, it was so much fun. Like, they're all really cool. And this one was telling us all these amazing stories about how she went to a private school and all this crazy shit happened. It was kind of like something you'd see in a movie. I couldn't believe it. Like, of course, at the time, you know, she wasn't impressed with it, but hearing, you know, not having to go through it and hear about her stories, was very impressed. Like, it was kind of like a prison for them because they weren't allowed to do anything, but they were always thinking ahead, like trying to think of how we can get around things, and they got away with all kinds of stuff. Anyway, I was entranced by her stories for like 2 or 3 hours. We were just sitting there like, wow. And yeah, we drank a good amount. My buddy John disappeared for a while and came back with a friend of his I haven't seen in a while, and we all just chilled and just drank and had some fun. It was a real hoot. And we got up the next day and cleaned up, and then I think we just moseyed on out of there. I think that was it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had a hoot. We had a ton of fun. We went when we went walking in Halifax the day before. We went to this place called the Wicked Lunchbox, I think it's called, and they had all this bulk candy that you can buy. So of course I went and I bought the gummy worms, which are fantastic. The Coke bottles, Swedish berries. They weren't really the same ones I wanted, but they were so chewy. I was like, that's all I really wanted was that chewiness. So everyone got gobstoppers and runts and all these other candies. They got the hard crunchy candies. I got all the soft squishy ones, like those little frogs and stuff. They're so good. So yeah, we pretty much had a fucking awesome time. Got to sample a bit of the Halifax life. Halifax is a great town. It's way better than Moncton. Moncton is a very like closed-minded and hick town. Like there's not a lot to do here, and it's mostly, you know, if you're a drunk, you'll get along really well. Because really, that's all there is to do here is drink. It's a very, very just uptight town. Very, not that people aren't friendly, they are, but it's just your average person, they're usually hicks. But you go to Halifax, it's a very laid-back town. Everyone's very open-minded, very, not that I'm weird or anything, but I appreciate a town that you can go to where you're not looking to get into a fight every single night. Like, I know Halifax has its bad areas and everything, but as far as just, you know, the nightlife experience and just going downtown and having fun, it's a fucking great place. There's so much to do there. So yeah, had an awesome time in Halifax. If you guys ever get the chance, give it a go. It's great. It's so much fun. Anyway, thought that would just, you know, drop that little nugget.